This week, Starship prepares for a high-risk, high-reward flight. Crew 10 returns safely to Earth, and Rocket Lab races the clock with Neutron. My name is Connor, and welcome to another episode of Spaceflight News. This week in Starbase, the stage is set for Flight 10, and Ship 37 is right back where we left it, rolling, testing, and quietly escalating the tension. After completing what looked like a clean 6-engine static fire last week, Ship 37 was seen leaving Megabay 2 again on Monday. With the original rollout path blocked by Gigabay construction, the team routed the ship through the Sanchez site and onto Highway 4, once again marking its familiar journey towards Pad 1. By the time it arrived between the tower arms, teams were already hard at work reattaching the interface plate, the key to reconnecting the temporary quick disconnect umbilicals. From there, things got even more specific. The vacuum engine stiffeners, which had been installed to protect the long nozzles during ground firings, were now completely gone. That suggests we weren't looking at another static fire, at least not yet. Instead, SpaceX ran a spin prime test, spinning up the turbopumps without igniting any of the engines. Meanwhile, flap actuation and detonation suppression systems were being tested as well, each a small piece of the larger pre-launch puzzle falling into place. And now it's official. SpaceX has set a target date for Flight 10, Sunday, August 24th, with the window opening at 6:30 PM Central Time. Just like Flight 9, the mission will push both stages through a myriad of experimental conditions. Booster 16 won't attempt to catch. It'll fly out over the Gulf, trying out a new flight profile under off-nominal conditions to gather data for future flights. Ship 37, meanwhile, will be carrying 8 Starlink simulators for orbital deployment and will attempt a Raptor relight during the coast phase. More tiles have been removed in select areas to deliberately expose vulnerabilities during re-entry, and this time, the vehicle includes experimental metallic tiles. Some are even equipped with active cooling. The heat shield's catch fittings will also be evaluated again, this time with smoother, tempered edges, hoping to reduce the hotspot stress we've seen in earlier flights. And as always, re-entry flap behaviour will be scrutinised, especially when the ship is entering max Q. Flight 10 won't just be another test. It's a strike on the unknowns of reusability, re-entry, and recovery. Every sensor, every scar on Ship 37 will tell us more about what Starship might be capable of next in the future. Good luck and Godspeed, SpaceX. This week in spaceflight brought everything from smooth landings to sharp pivots in strategy and a few bold steps into the future. The Crew 10 mission came to a close as the SpaceX Dragon capsule Endurance splashed down off the coast of San Diego. On board were 4 astronauts: Anne McLean, Nicole Ayers, Takuya Onishi, and Kirill Peskov, returning after nearly 5 months aboard the International Space Station. They've been replaced by Crew 11, which launched earlier this month, and NASA is now weighing whether to extend that mission from 6 to 8 months. It'll all depend on certifying the Dragon spacecraft for a longer on-orbit life, but planning is already moving in that direction. Meanwhile, Rocket Lab continues the balancing act between ambition and caution. CEO Peter Beck says the first launch of their Neutron rocket could still happen by the end of this year, but only if everything goes exactly right. The company is pressing ahead with construction at Launch Complex 3 in Virginia, which is set to open on August 28. And in a major move towards vertical integration, Rocket Lab has completed its acquisition of Geost, a payload manufacturer specializing in electro-optical and infrared sensors. That means Rocket Lab now controls almost every part of the satellite supply chain, from launch vehicle to bus to payload. A big leap for a company that just a few years ago was known mainly for tiny rockets. Redwire is also expanding into pharmaceuticals. The company announced a new division called Space MD, built around their PIL box platform for in-space drug research. Their first partnership is already in place to work on bone disease treatments, and Redwire stands to earn royalties from any resulting drugs. It's another sign that commercial microgravity research is growing beyond science experiments and into real-world biotech. NASA, on the other hand, is doubling down on power. A new directive is pushing the development of a 100-kilowatt nuclear reactor for use on the moon by 2030. This is part of a broader push to move beyond solar power towards a more robust energy system that can survive long lunar nights. Industry insiders say the plan is technically feasible, but challenges remain, especially around regulations, funding, and the workforce needed to build this kind of system at scale. And finally, a bit of news from beyond our solar system. The TARPist-1D, once considered a promising Earth-like exoplanet, now appears to have no atmosphere at all. Data from the James Webb Space Telescope found no signs of water, carbon dioxide, or methane, which are all commonly related to biological reactions. While that can be a disappointment for some, it also helps narrow the search for what astronomers should be looking for, and it raises the possibility that some of its neighbouring planets and neighbouring debris may have been part of the reason for instrumental failure in the initial diagnosis. Now onto launches this week. On August 11th, a Falcon 9 lifted off from Cape Canaveral, carrying another batch of 24 Kuiper satellites. This is Amazon's answer to Starlink, and the pace is starting to really pick up. The more hardware they get in orbit, the more real this constellation actually becomes. August 13th gave us a rare doubleheader. First, ULA launched its Vulcan rocket from Cape Canaveral, carrying a top secret payload under a national security contract. While the mission details remain classified due to its top secret classification, this marks a significant moment for ULA, only their second Vulcan launch and their first major milestone towards fulfilling billions in DoD commitments. For ULA, the heat is on to prove Vulcan is not only real, but also reliable. That same day, from the other side of the Atlantic, Ariane 6 took flight from French Guiana, carrying an EU METSAT weather satellite. This was just the second launch of the new European workhorse, which replaces the retired Ariane 5. For the European space sector, it's a sign they're back in the heavy lift game, and watching closely for every sign of long-term viability. Then on August 14th, SpaceX closed out the week with 2 Starlink launches, one from Vandenberg and one from Cape Canaveral, adding even more to their ever-growing constellation. Starlink's total satellite count now pushes well over 9,100, and that number keeps rising every time we publish. And that's all for this week. If you enjoyed this episode, follow Spaceflight News on YouTube, Instagram, and X for more stories on the edge of space. Until next time, keep looking up.